As it's Dan, and it is time for another trade paperback comic book series review. This time from Valiant Comics. Yes, you heard me correctly. Valiant Comics. We have Punk Mambo Volume 1. This collects issues numbers 1 through 5 and issue 0. Issue 0 is written by Peter Milligan and has artist Robert Gill, whereas this one is written by... Most of this, numbers 1 through 5, is written by Cullen Bunn and illustrated by the various people on the cover. I'm not going to read off every single name. As we know, that comic book companies, they tend to borrow from each other, like certain concepts or ideas of heroes. And I was reading the reviews of this before I really got down and dirty with this book, before I finished it. And a couple of people had compared this character, because she is British, they compare her to John DC and Vertigo's John Constantine. I do want to say that, yeah, I can kind of somewhat see that just because she's British and she's a magic user. I mean, I can kind of see what they're trying to say, but she's punk, so she's not exactly like John Constantine. And plus she uses preferably voodoo, so that's why she's Punk Mambo. She's a Mambo. I guess they're like... I'm not too familiar with all the details of how voodoo works, but I guess female magic users are called Mambos, and male users are called Hunguns or something like that. So yeah, she's kind of similar in regards to voodoo... the voodoo priest, or whatever his name is, from Marvel, where she conjures this staff of bone and all that other stuff. So I did find this to be pretty interesting. It is like relies very heavily on the whole concept of voodoo magic, and it takes place in Louisiana, which I think that's because Cullen Bunn is from down south, so I think that a lot of his stories kind of take place in down south. And like I said, the last story is her origin story, which kind of sealed the deal for me. I thought a majority of this book was just like 3 stars. I thought it was pretty average. Now, don't get me wrong, I will want to seek out and read any more volumes of this if I come across them. But, you know, the origin story I found to be the best part of this collection. I found her origin to be really interesting, and the whole kind of like poking fun at the punk rock movement and how it's kind of like not really a movement anymore and it's kind of dead. And yeah, it was really interesting, and I like the fact that this character, she doesn't age. She has a Loa, which is a kind of voodoo demigod, I guess. Or like someone who used to be alive but is now like a spirit, like familiar almost. So I found that kind of interesting. The villain concept of the villain, I thought was kind of weird, because I'm not gonna like spoil the villain, but the villain was kind of... I thought his whole image and the way he looked was kind of cool. And like the premise of him was kind of interesting. But after a while I was kind of like, this is kind of dumb. And I don't know if I really think it's all that great. But like I said, it is worth a read. If you are a fan of horror fiction, I'm going to say check this out for sure. It's rated T for teen. It's T+, so... yeah, I mean, it does have some mature things in it. I guess Valiant kind of rates their stuff a little differently than other comics. There is some, like... they don't, like, show full-on sex. I don't think they showed a lot of nudity, if they did show any nudity, but they kind of, you know, like, hint at stuff's going on. I, of course, as always, for those of you in the US, I will have a link to Amazon down below if you'd like to check out this book for yourselves. For those of you internationally, I'm going to try to find a link on bookshop.org. I've decided to stick with using bookshop.org versus Book Depository, because Book Depository, their whole system, their new system is a lot harder to sign up for, and I just really don't want to, like, take that much time. I'm kind of busy. I work full-time, and I read a lot and make videos for y'all to see, and I just don't have the extra time in my life to to go filling out all these forms just to try to, have a chance that someone may buy a book that's international when there aren't a lot of my subscribers who are international. So that's why I'm going to stick with the bookshop.org. And if you don't mind, I will have my coffee link too. If you don't mind throwing in $1 or $2, that kind of helps me out since I'm not getting AdSense. I get these growth spurts where I get a number of subscribers, but then they kind of fall off after a while. So I feel like it's going to be a long time before I reach 1,000 subscribers. But that's all I got for you guys. If you came here looking for comic book graphic novel recommendations or reviews, please hit that subscribe button. While you're hit that notification bell too. Thank you for watching, and until next time, this has been Dan. Be good to each other.